Alright, now we're good. I had to restart OBS, which is problematic because that's how we stream. But it should be good now. Can you disconnect from the internet on this? Thank you. Alright, you want a high five? I got you. Did that work? Is it here or is it here? This side, right? Alright, high five vibes. We'll get more of those when I have people on that'll be like, alright, what's going on? Alright, I gotta check them in like 10 minutes, so let's do these. Alright, we got Reagan, Hune, I think that's how I say it. Yeah, that's right. Ashley, Nicolita, and Miranda McDonald. Why are these not loaded already? Come on now. Come on now. And that's who. What do you do? I'm new. What's up, Bracelets and Beyond? Basically, what we're going to do today, in about 40 minutes, we'll have a bunch of photographers on here. We're going to hang out and talk about stuff and relate, and chat can hang out too. It's like a round table. But first, we're going to learn about them. So these are all the people who are going to be here today. And we've got Miranda, who she does a lot of portraits and live work in LA. Beautiful work with some YouTubers, some celebrities, some musicians. She's awesome. And then we have Nicolita, who I've spoken with a bunch before, but never actually met. And I know that she's newer, or like started within the past few years, but has a pretty good portfolio already. It's just like live stuff, a lot of festivals. I think she shot like Rolling Loud or something. Has a super cool style, and then has some pretty cool portraits too. And then that's Nicole. We already have it. And then Ashley, who I've known forever, is a very talented music photographer with a very distinct look to her work. And this is Selena Gomez, not Demi Lovato, who I always mess it up. Because, spoiler alert, I don't listen to either of them, but I just always mess it up. And she does a lot of portraits, and I mean, I think the thing that most of these people have in common is a lot of the work's like super emotional. What up, Sydney? Welcome back. They have some really cool film portraits. Stuff's gonna take a little bit to load, but we're on 0 draft frames, so we're living. And their work is like super artsy. I like it a lot. And I know there's okay. I can't go any lower. I can't have nudity on here, but just super like film, cool looking vibes. She shot for like everyone. Does video as well, which I actually didn't really realize. A lot of work with KG Elephant, which is pretty cool. Good band, obviously. And yeah, super artsy. Polaroids, music live. Like, I love that. I want to get her a raw editing challenge or something, but it's hard, you know. Yeah, the website is cool too. We'd have to ask her how she. I don't know how she made it, but it looks. I like the color. Like usually I'm like, oh, don't put color, but it really just works for whatever she. Like her vibe just works. Her website really fits her style, you know. Also, look at this image of Wiz. That's sick. You can see the other cameras trying to get the shot too. I love that. What is this? Gestafelstein. Oh, I've heard of that. This is cool. Just so raw looking. And then Yeah, very retro. I agree. It's all good. It's all good. We try our best with pronouns, and when we make a mistake, we correct each other, and that's all there is to it. And then Reagan is, I'm newer to their work, but very, very like all the stuff this week looks very has a very clear theme to it. You know, excuse me, and that's what I like about it. And yeah, it's a good vibe all around. Yeah, very timeless. And obviously, Connor has all the links in there if you guys want to look at it on your own time. But do you have any questions you guys think we should ask today? I have my guys' stuff. I have my questions, obviously, but if you guys have anything you want to talk about, let me know. Let me turn the audio off so I can clear my throat. All right, we good. High five. Formulating questions now. Yeah, if you guys have any friends who want to invite, oh my goodness. Am I high-fiving the right way? Or is it this way? Is it my left hand or my right hand? I think it'll pop up on my screen here soon. Let's see. Wrong way. You gotta tell me. So if I move this hand, doosh. High five, high five. Okay. What up, Marissa? Welcome. Welcome to the party. What do you got? What? Jenny, that's a good question for Ashley, but we have to find questions that everybody. So we have to find questions that take advantage of the fact that we have 5 people here. So I can't like be like, Ashley, this question's for you, and then everybody kind of has to sit. We got to find stuff that like is applicable to everybody. Otherwise, it will kind of defeat the purpose of having it. Yeah, I just changed them for today, Sydney, just because we don't use those things. So I'll change them every stream. What up, Misha? Welcome. Yeah, come hang. If you have any questions, whatever, come hang out. No, Jenny. Or Jen. Jenny, right? I think I know you from Twitter. It's fine. It's like, it doesn't matter. We're all new here. Like, it doesn't matter at all. I just have to try to, like, if we have Ashley on solo sometime, let's do it. But I want to just try to, like, have him do whatever. Also, welcome, Jenny. We hope you keep coming to all the streams. What are the challenges you experienced as a photographer? All right, challenges. We can ask that. The challenges. Oh, it's gonna be a dope group. Okay, you guys, I have to go audio visual check them. Connor, Marissa, you guys take over. Welcome anybody who comes and follows. Let them know we're coming back soon. All right, Connor, let me see your question. So it's just, how do you keep that style with not being technically perfect? Okay. What up, Kurt? Welcome. All right, I'll be back, guys. Chill for me. What up, guys? How's it going? I'm kind of here. I'll just make my face big for now. Let's just do that. We can kind of do that. Alright, face. I know we got a lot of layers here. Claim the high five. Cool. We went over everybody's work. We're going to make this look super sketchy for now. How's everybody doing? I just talked to everybody. We're coming in soon. We got a few minutes. If you guys have any questions you want to ask or anything like that, let me know. But otherwise, you know, we kind of let this thing roll. It'll be great. Wow, that doesn't look bad at all, Adam. That looks really good. Just kidding. What up? Who's here? Roll call. Let's see. Who's here? Let's hear it. Who is here? You can type, you can whatever. Let's hear a little cinema crap. Yeah, we got Misha. Great. If you want to say who you are, where you're from, that's great. Forewarning you guys, it's going to be a little laggy today, and that's okay. Jennifer Lopez, what up? Kirby, yes, Kirby, thank you for joining. Let's go. We've got a good team, good vibes. Everything's going to be awesome today. I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to hang, mostly. I like hanging too. We've got virtual high fives in here. High five. High five. Yes. All right, cool. What? I have too much free time. Southern Virginia. Yo, what up, everyone? Connor, if you want to announce on chat, that's fine. And if you want to throw links, that's great. You can throw them in. I'll say that we're going live on Twitter. And that's pretty much Greg Otis, photographer in ATL. What up? From Atlanta. Let's go, Greg. How's it going? We are live. We are live now. Elena from Italy. Elena, thank you for always joining us. I know it's pretty late for you, and I appreciate you coming. It's awesome. It's great. It's great to hear that. See if I can find this post I had. Anybody else here? I know you guys are here. You can write. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Did I not post it from my phone? I might not have posted it from my phone. Did it? You're leaving? We need you, dude. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, anything you want to say during the chat, by all means do it. And yeah, that's all there is to it. Twitch.tv/Elmkias photo. Cool. Kirby, what can we help you with on Twitch? Any questions, ask. You aren't old, and we're all here to help, so don't even stress it, all right? Everybody here is very helpful. And that's all there is to it. And people will start joining right on time. Just trying to figure out, yeah, so you're good. It's like a bedtime story. Yes, it's like an afternoon like coffee for me. Like I got a little coffee. Christian, what up, Christian? Let's go. Welcome back, Connor. Oh yeah, all the time. Definitely go back and re-edit photos. It's necessary. The more you shoot, the more you can look back. You can learn from it. Twitch TV/Elmkias live now. I'll make this red. Raw challenge is fun this week. Pretty cool. Pretty cool action shot. Connor found that one. Good job, Connor. What up, Jer? Welcome. Good. Good to see you. Good to see you every Thursday. And Took a break. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do the challenge this week. I'm home tomorrow. Finally, it's been 38 days, but I'm good, dude. I'm happy. I get really excited for these every week, obviously. So I'm happy to be here, and I couldn't ask for more. So also, how's the layout look, guys? I took a little bit of time, tried to fix it up a little bit. Yeah, it's a long road trip. Traveling's been chill. We're in Albuquerque. I'm streaming off my girlfriend's iPhone. So, thank you to her for making this happen. Drinking Grape Crush. You throw my whole name in there, Evan? Evan, it's good to have you back. I missed you, my friend. Layout is fresh and clean. Thank you. Well, Marissa, how do you like those social posts? I think we're on it. I think we're doing it. Once it hits the time that we're supposed to go live, that's when people start filling in too. So, it'll be good. It'll be good. And I don't know. I guess I get nervous every time before these, and then it always works out. And I like that we start a little early so we can look at stuff and look at their websites, because their work is awesome this week. It's I think it's very emotional and very. I think a lot of them break a lot of the rules in the best ways, right? Like do things that you were taught not to do, but for the right reasons, for showing emotion and for showing style and for showing their eye. And that's kind of where it is. We're all emo here. Let's get it. What up, Kayla? Welcome. Welcome, guys. And I told them all to load chat, so if you talk on here, they will see it. So if you ever want to talk to them. Jared, I agree. This is a very good. You know who actually Miranda helped a lot with this one. Miranda on the show today. Oh, thank you for that follow. We got a little Pikachu running. Let's go. Yeah, Miranda actually hit me up and was like, "Yo, let's do a hangout." And what's up, Amy? Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome from the UK or somewhere. And yeah, break all the rules in the right ways, which I vibe with heavy. Because that's how it should be, right? This is art. This isn't stock photos. And I like it. Okay. Let's see here. Last week's was really good, too. Second row, bring more SDs. Yes. Let's go. And we'll have this up afterwards, so we always download these, save them. They'll be for viewing. Connor will clip anything that's funny. And what did I see, guys? Last week's taught me a lot about network. Yo, last week's taught me a lot, too. I was super inspired. I love what Lindsay had to say. Everybody was good, actually. It was a good vibe of people, right? It was a very good layout of people. So, yeah, it was nice. It was very nice. And today will lag today. I know I already told you that, guys, but just so you know, it's going to happen. Don't need to talk about it. You're going to bear with us. What's up, Snesley? I apologize, but I'm just doing the best I can, and it's good the content is here. Yo, I can feel it too, Blue Fox. What up? Welcome. It's gonna be good. I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to shut up and just listen. That's one of my favorite things about this is I just get to shut up and listen. And oh, we got Falcone. What up, Falcone? Thank you for coming, dude. With the support. We got some good questions. Yes, Tom's here. Usually Miranda's in chat, but she's live today. So, all right, well, it's 2, and I know they're going to be on time, so let me switch over to them. So we'll get that hangout going. We'll get this laid out well. That looks about right. And they'll be jumping in the waiting room soon. All right, cool. We got Miranda. Let's go. Welcome. I got to turn on their audio. I almost forgot. I have to turn on their audio. All right, your audio's on, Miranda. Everybody can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you also.
Good? Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
What's up?
Yo, that ad from when we were younger, when it was can you hear me now? Good, has never exited my head. Ever.
Was that Verizon?
I don't even know. Is it Verizon?
It's
It's
like
something.
some shitty old cell phone. I remember.
Yeah, dude. It wasn't the best, but it is.
It stuck forever.
All right. It'd be really funny if somebody came to the audio check and then somehow didn't show up to the live chat. What
Yeah,
up,
within that
Ashley?
10-minute grace period.
Yeah, within the 10 minutes.
Ashley.
All right. Still muted, but we got it. I need to turn it off so it doesn't mute people when they come in. That's my fault. There we go. Admit. Wait, you're muted.
Yeah, I can't hear her.
Ash, you're muted.
I remember my first Zoom.
Oh, look at these people.
I'm so stoked.
Almost removed. There we go. We're live. Nicolita. Oh, we got everyone.
Wow, punctual. I love
Yeah.
it.
Wait, let's wait for Reagan to get in before I go off. Before we get it going. And remember, you guys come in muted, which is just for everybody's good, but I'll ask you guys to unmute. So it's just so that, I don't know why I do it, actually. I should probably remove it.
It's actually a very nice gesture to do that,
Well, because, if you come in and you're ruffling or something, then it helps with the,
Yeah.
abrasiveness of it.
Mm.
Welcome, guys.
Screaming.
What'd you guys do with your 10 minutes?
Got a
Yeah,
water.
something.
Water.
All right,
Yeah.
cheers. Happy Thursday.
Cheers
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Yes, there we go.
to another week in quarantine.
Yes.
To another week of learning things you have been procrastinating to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I love that.
Cool. Well, I showed everybody your guys' work, but if you want to start, Miranda, you can actually start. And if you guys want to say where you're at right now, and I don't know, you can talk about you can say where you're at, what you're drinking, and we can start with that.
Cool. I'm based in LA, but I'm in San Jose right now. My best friend's getting married tomorrow. It's a tiny wedding, so COVID stuff. And then I'm drinking a passion fruit LaCroix.
Let's go.
Fancy.
That's a good choice of
I know.
flavor. All right, Nicolita, we can just go I don't know where everybody's appearing, but just whoever wants to go next, go for it.
What are the questions? Who am I?
Yeah, well, we
What
kind
am I
of know who
doing?
you are. We did our research, but we just want to know maybe where you're located and if you're drinking something or just a little icebreaker,
Yeah, my name is Nicolita. I'm in Seattle,
Yes.
and I'm drinking water with my metal straw.
Yes.
Yes.
Probably tastes better.
It does. It
Noted.
hits different.
All right, I'll get a metal straw.
Am I next?
Anybody can go.
Hello.
We're gonna have moments of silence, and that is okay.
Hi. Wait, are we? So we're live right now, right?
Yeah, everybody can see you. The
Oh my
world,
God.
the
Hello,
world is
everyone.
here. The world
Okay.
is watching.
The world is watching me. No pressure. Hi, I'm Pune. I'm in LA right now, and I have this tiny cup of water. That it is a tiny cup, and I am exceptionally. Maybe I'm exceptionally large. I don't know. Could be either one. But this is what I'm drinking.
I got it. Yes.
And, yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes. Thank
I
you.
like that music setup behind you.
Thanks. None of this
That's
is
sick.
mine. This is all
You
my
could
roommates.
say it was all
actually,
yours.
Yeah.
The one I will take credit for the one Fender when it
Ooh.
Fender, but the rest, my roommate obviously works in music. Yeah, it's the best. It's the coolest room in the house.
Yeah, that looks great.
It's boring.
It looks insane. I love it.
Oh, thanks. Oh yeah, my rig back here.
Yeah. Hey guys, coming at you live from the studio. I'll go. I'm Ashley. I'm in LA right now, and I'm drinking I think it's like a light roast from Groundwork Coffee with a little bit of oat milk. My fave.
Ooh.
And I'm feeling great. I've been drinking way too much coffee in quarantine. Proud though. Very proud.
I'm Reagan. I'm in New Jersey right now, but I just picked up my keys because I'm moving into the city. In 2 days.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. So
That
I'll
is
be in
awesome.
Soho soon. And I'm not drinking anything.
That's
Actually.
fair.
That's been my quarantine.
What?
That's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to drink more water, but we're getting there.
It's hard. It's a hard habit to
Really
make. I don't know
hard.
why.
Mhm.
I
I
know.
know. Unless I carry my like
Start with a
giant
shot of
thing
water
around.
and work your way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you guys keep up on your water drinking habits? I got a bottle with a straw, and I feel like it makes drinking water
This
easier
is a
now.
massive guy.
Oh, wow.
Massive water guy.
That would
So I know I have to
overwhelm me.
drink like 4 of them a
Drinking
day.
coffee.
Does it?
I mean, does carbonated water, does LaCroix, I mean, does that count? I guess as long as it doesn't have sodium. I found out that a lot of them have sodium, which is why you keep craving it. And I didn't know that for the longest time. But I mean, that counts. It's kind of tricking your brain into thinking you're drinking something else.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't
But I
either.
think like LaCroix, that's technically water.
That
That's
counts.
water.
It's crazy to me that like drinking something like coffee
Yeah.
that is so much water, obviously because it's liquid, even though it has caffeine, somehow dehydrates you. I need to like wrap my mind around that. There's so much water.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a diuretic, right?
I think
We
so.
don't have to talk about that.
You know, we're like 6
Totally
minutes in.
Welcome
What
to
is-
our stream.
what does coffee do to your insides? Cool.
I
Well,
can get behind that.
thank you guys for doing this and joining me. Actually, Miranda is at fault here. Miranda helped me curate this group of people, so thank you, Miranda. And thank
Yeah.
you everybody for joining me and us and the chat. Everybody in chat, say what's up. We looked through everybody's portfolios. I think the thing that ties everybody together here is that everybody is music based, but also just portraits and live, and everybody is kind of like, I don't know. There's a lot of emotion and a lot of very artsy work. Like I like it. Like it's very much your own style, and I don't know. I guess that was kind of where I was going to gear this chat towards. Just talking about style, and working with people, and that kind of thing. So if we could kind of start off, I wanted to know like, how long did it take you guys until you really feel like you had your style, or what was that journey like? Do you know what I mean? Like, where you're like, all right, I got this. Like I could tell that's my photo. I'm excited with how it looks, or something like that. Or how did that happen? I don't know if that makes sense.
Man.
That's a good question. Open it up.
Yeah.
Getting real.
We could take a second to think, you know, like, and
No,
maybe we
it's
haven't gotten
good.
there yet, but I don't know. That's what I really want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it's something that is like constantly growing, and I'm like kind of learning more and more every day, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer.
You
Does
start
anyone else have
answering.
an
You
answer?
started answering, and you're like, actually, I can't do this.
I know.
Actually,
Shoot.
never
I
mind.
don't know.
It is
I
a hard
feel
question
like-
to answer because it's
No.
yeah,
go,
it's like
go.
not something you really notice as like you're
Mhm.
doing it. I guess You know?
Yeah.
I think it's just something that you kind of develop as long as you're like, I guess to some level staying true to yourself and like developing and like kind of, you know, like yeah, just not being afraid to be yourself in a lot of ways. And then you'll look back and then like, you know, when you hear like, oh, your work has a distinct look, it's not something that none of us are necessarily trying to do like intentionally. It just kind of happens. So it's kind of hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. Like, I feel like I hear it more from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that looks like a photo you would take or something, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's less like I feel like
Cool.
it just like happens.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
I feel like a lot of my stuff in my earlier parts of my career like changed a lot because I like back when I was starting, I just felt really insecure in a lot of ways about the work I was producing and like a lot about like I was editing for other people, whereas like now I agree, I feel like it's ever flowing and it's always changing. Yeah, so that's a really cool question. I love it though. I think it's important to like also I feel a lot of my editing style depends on where I'm at in my life and like how I'm feeling. Like if it's like a darker time, I know as I'm creating like more dark emotional art, and if I'm like happier, then it's like a lot brighter. And I can go through my Instagram and like look and be like, okay, here I was in a weird spot. Here I was like doing really good because I can tell in like the colors I'm using and like if it's a lot of black and white. I don't know if anyone else relates to that, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Just like what you're going through emotionally. I mean, I think in some ways,
Mhm.
I mean, it is important to kind of put that back into your art, to kind of put like a little bit of yourself into everything you're doing. So yeah, I definitely like, it's the same way. It's like, wow, all my photos are so like dark or all like black and
Was
white
I okay?
or something. Yeah.
People start hitting you up.
Someone
They're
needs to
like,
check on
"Hey,
me.
I've been seeing your work lately.
It's pretty dark.
Do you need to
Good.
talk?"
Like yes I do. So yeah.
Well, Yeah, Nicolita, do you want to, or Nikki, do you want me to call you Nicolita or Nikki? I noticed you changed your name to Nikki.
Oh, it's just because I don't have the A key working on my keyboard. So
Oh,
I
that's
can't.
really funny. All right.
I actually don't have ASDFG, but you know,
Oh my
we're
God.
getting through it.
What do you do? Voice to
Wow.
voice to text for everything?
Oh no, I have a keyboard like that I plug in, but I
Ah.
just
That's fair. All right.
yeah, just finesse. I've noticed that I tend to gravitate towards like a specific shade of red and blue and orange in my work, but other than that, like I just edit from like a base that I like, and then I just edit everything from there. I'm only like 2 or 3 years into shooting in general,
Mhm.
so I just haven't found. People say that they see my style, but like I just haven't found like, oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm going for. I just kind of go with the flow, and it all ends up looking the same. Because I think my taste is very specific and what I like to see.
Yeah, good for you for being able to work with reds and oranges, because those are colors that I cannot. I'm like so bad with those colors. So bravo, that's cool.
Yo, I mean, it sounds like everybody here, like, along with their work being so true to themselves and pretty connected to whether it be your emotions or how you feel or what you just want to create, it sounds like it kind of grows as you grow. So if
Right.
your work changes as you change, then how much time do you spend being like, okay, I want my photography to get better, so I'm going to work on, being better at this part of my life? Is there any time you've ever done that in to help your photography rather than just shooting or something? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of. I think that I still get really anxious sometimes when I'm like really excited for a gig. So I think just working on honing that in every day versus like just the shoot days, I think that helps me with being more comfortable with the subject and like just being more myself and not like a nervous wreck, if that makes sense.
Not a
Mhm.
nervous wreck is like a good place to be. It's
Yeah.
even though sometimes it's easier said than done, I feel like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I
100%.
think just being able to criticize yourself constructively, and I've spoken about this with like so many, not just photographers, but like people in the creative field, and like to be able to just like grow, because it's important to like constantly push yourself and find ways to like make yourself nervous and like learn new things, but at the same time, being able to like appreciate where you've come and where you're at, and that balance, I think, just like mentally, like you have to be able to find a way to like push yourself and not let it be like detrimental to like to you at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's just like finding that balance.
It's like a healthy
I
way.
agree.
It's like a healthy way to improve. Is
Yeah.
kind of what you're saying.
I think
Artists.
just changing things up and trying to do new things for different shoots can be super terrifying. Just because of the like, what if something goes wrong? Like I've never done this before, but it's kind of just like I feel like the journey is the exciting part. And like if I'm also I've been shooting for like 3-ish years, so I'm kind of at the beginning, but I feel like even looking back like 3 years ago at my work and seeing the way it's changed is like that's like the most exciting part for me.
Your work is
Yeah.
awesome, by the way. Good
Even
job.
a few months ago,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like good to be able to look back on your work and see like hopefully how you've improved.
Right.
And yes, it should never. I don't think there should ever be a point where you're like, oh, okay, my work is perfect. I don't
That's
think
probably when you stop learning.
I've heard
Huh?
yeah.
That's probably when you
And
stop
if I did
learning.
hear any photographer say that, just be like, okay.
I feel like no
Yeah.
creatives can say that. Like I feel like we always are such harsh critics of our own work.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
think someone else's work is perfect, but our own, we're like, oh no, never.
Yeah.
Well, like I'll speak to other photographers who are so like they're so incredible, and everybody goes through it. It's like everybody has like some level of imposter syndrome.
We all
And,
feel it all the time.
Yes.
It's just being able to like hone that in and just being able to use that in like a positive way, and not just be like, oh, I give up, I'm never gonna be good. It's like no one ever got anywhere thinking that way.
Yeah.
If 10 years ago, like I could have easily, or any of us could have easily just been like, oh, there's so many other music photographers out there. Like, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
owning your insecurities. Like this whole year, I feel like so much of my insecurity has come up and I've had to face so much of it. And so much of it is around creativity and like my career. And I think it's so important to just constantly like be doing the work with your art, but also be doing the work on your mental health and like you as a whole and like you inside, because so much of our work as creatives, like we're literally built, I've said this a million times, but like we're built differently. Like we're built to feel things more empathetically. Like we're just built to experience the world differently. And that's what makes us creatives and that's what makes us artists. So I just like, I will always talk about mental health like wherever I go, but I just think like working on your mental health too is like such a huge part of being a creative and like working through those ebbs and flows.
Yeah, highest highs and lowest lows, no matter what.
And embracing it and
It's
like being able
more
to
fun.
sit with the lows. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Always.
So what are what are some ways that, I mean, originally, and okay, I keep wanting to say your name wrong, but it's Pune. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah, that's right.
I might be announcing it wrong. Like, or, okay, cool. I'm trying. What are
Renee, like Renee.
Pune. Okay, I got it. Pune. You said like when you were saying you're like, you know, it's important to criticize yourself. What are some ways maybe we can all relate? Like when we say criticize, what does that mean? Or can you guys kind of talk to that for maybe some people who are like, hey, I want to get better. What does it mean to criticize myself? Like we all know that doesn't mean being like bad. You did the bad job. Like it's not that. Like what does that mean?
I mean, I think it's kind of what I touched on earlier is to just, you know, I mean, all of us are obviously passionate about what we're doing and like photography, and naturally we want to keep learning. And I think it's important to look at your work and to maybe be able to take criticisms from others and, you know, be able to like, yeah, look back on your work and just like, I don't know, find ways to progress. And I think it's, yeah, it's kind of what I touched on earlier. It's like, don't look at your work and just be like, oh, this sucks. Like, what's the point? It's just like, it's always a learning process. Yeah. I don't know if that made sense, but
yeah, can you guys relate?
Owning your mess ups. Like sometimes I make a really stupid mistake during a shoot where I'll like go to start shooting portraits of a full band and my aperture is like 4, you know, like little things like that where, and I'll go back during editing, I'll be like, yeah, like I definitely need to watch that. That's like something I need to pay more attention to. Or when I'm with like working with manual focus and I just like completely like something's totally out of focus, and like being able to call yourself out on those little tiny
Looks
mistakes
good in camera,
and, like,
I swear.
be conscious of that. Yeah. I'm like, I need to wear my glasses when I shoot is what I'm saying. But yeah, just like little things like that, and like owning the fact that like everyone, because I'm sure you can all relate, like everyone is like constantly trying to get better.
And also
anyone at any level, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Fucked
also
up is trying to get better. It's all like, that's all the same.
Hit him, Reagan. Let's go.
No, yeah, I was gonna say taking those little mess ups that Ashley was just talking about, and like instead of like getting on your case about it, like being like, that's such a blessing, so now next time I won't do that, and like just changing it around in that way.
And one thing that I don't know if you guys can relate to this or if you've ever heard this, but one thing, it was like an article I read when I first started, and the main point was they were talking about separating yourself from your work. And the concept is like, you know, if you go up in, whether it's a compliment or a criticism of somebody's work, that you shouldn't take that personally. So for example, you know, I don't know, somebody likes or doesn't like a photo, it doesn't make you a worse or a better person. Is there a time that it kind of, I don't know, you were able to start separating yourself from your work in a way where you can look at it and criticize yourself without feeling, I don't know, down on yourself? Does that kind of make sense? I lost myself in my own question there, I'll admit, but maybe you guys can help me out.
That's a good question. I feel like I think more recently in my career, definitely, like I've been able to do that, but earlier, absolutely not. I was really hard on myself, but I think that's normal. Like, but I feel like now I'm a lot more like conscious of that separation. I try to, especially now that I'm not only working on photography and I'm kind of working in a field a little bit outside of that too. Like I've been able to look at it a little differently. But yeah, no, earlier in my career, absolutely not.
Well then, what about Reagan and Nicolita, who you guys said you are maybe a little earlier on in your career than the other three here? Have you found that something that you've confronted recently, or maybe are still confronting, or what's your vibe?
Yeah, no, I'm still going through that. I feel like that's one of the biggest struggles that I have with it. Um, just, I mean, it's like this art is like what we do with our lives, and it's just like so much of every day, and we're so passionate about it. So it's
Mhm.
so hard to like separate our like. I mean, I find myself comparing my work to like everyone, which is like the worst thing you can ever do. But that just like I feel like it starts with that, and then it starts to get a little personal, and you're like, do I have the capability? Like it just starts going. So during quarantine, I feel like I've started like working through that and like switching it and trying to use it to my advantage and stuff. But that's definitely been like a huge thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if I take a bad photo, I take a bad photo. That doesn't make me a bad person.
Mhm.
So my art kind of is separated from that. And I used to care what people thought about my work, and I still do to an extent. But if I really like a photo and I'm really hyped on it, that's all that matters to me. And I really like being able to capture like a specific moment or a specific look. And a lot of people don't like it, or a lot of people like more wider shots, and I like tight in shots. And I think it's just a preference thing for me. Uh, so yeah, I mean, my work is a reflection of who I am at some point, but at the same time, I'm separate from it because, uh, yeah, I mean, I am a completely like I am a person, and then I make art. Like art
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily my art doesn't necessarily define everything about who I am.
That's great. It's good to hear it put in words. I feel like we can all think
That's
it.
beautiful.
Yeah, but well put.
Yeah, you put it perfectly.
Awesome. Um, cool. Well, thank you guys so much so far for teaching me everything. Well, teaching everybody everything. I made like a bunch of notes of kind of how this would all bounce around, and I was thinking when I was looking at your guys' work, I really liked the connection you had with your artists, and I was wondering how you think your relationship with your artists affects the work you create with them, and I don't know, maybe you could share some personal experiences of, I met this artist for a minute and this happened, or we had a full day shoot and this happened, and how it kind of helped you create. Because there's a lot of people in chat who maybe haven't really had the chance to work with people they've never met before, or showed up to a shoot and met somebody for the first time. Maybe they only shoot their friends or their families or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of the topic I had.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, in my case, especially with touring, a lot of it has happened like very organically. It's either been like I've been a fan of the band and I've like shot them a lot and like we became friends, or yeah, like, I mean, I think all of us have like different ways that we've met like the artists we've worked with and how we became close to them. But like, at the end of the day, it was like that comfort was there, like especially for a band to want to take you on tour. I don't think I would want to go on tour with an artist that I didn't think would be like, that wasn't like a friend, or wasn't someone that like where that relationship was already there.
So what's that look like? Do you know what I mean? It's easy to, maybe for people who are experienced, to say, hey, if they're a friend, I'll tour with them. But when you meet somebody, like, how is it different than a normal person in real life when you meet them and you say, hey, we'll be friends? Or how is it different when it's an artist or a client? Like, how do you know, like, hey, this can be a relationship, this can be somebody I can work with?
I mean, a lot of times, you'll be at like a festival and you'll have like 5 minutes to shoot with someone, and it's very like quick, and it's very much just like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I have no idea who you are. Let's take these photos really quick. Let's just like, but I don't know. Sometimes you just kind of know. I think past the photography aspect of it, just like on a human level, when you like click with someone and a shoot goes well and like you get along and, you just work together well. And I think especially, artists that work with so many photographers and so many people that probably like when you have that connection, it's like special. It's the same like on my end too, like working or on any of our ends. When we work on an artist and we don't really have that connection, you just kind of can tell. Yeah, I guess I don't know. you just get along, really.
Yeah.
And that's how it's kind of happened. It's just like they like the photos, you know. None of us are dicks. We all hang out well.
Don't be a dick
And
is
then
the thing we
next
keep
thing,
hearing.
yeah, well, it's true. And
Can
you
anybody
know.
else kind of add to that or like relate in any way?
Definitely.
Yeah. So for me, I'm really new to touring. My first tour was last year, and it was with Julia Michaels, and I didn't know her going into rehearsal, but I like went up to the Valley, shot rehearsal, and then they ended up like we all got along. It was me. The thing with touring is you have to get along with everybody. Like she has like a 4-person band, and then like the sound engineer and the tour manager and like X, Y, and Z. So we all just kind of clicked, and then we toured for like I think 9 of 12 months last year. It was incredible, exhausting, but awesome.
That's a long time.
But you have to be able to be yourself with the artists. Like you're living together on a bus, so you need to be comfortable. So I think that's where it really worked out for me for my first tour because Julia is like we're almost the same age. We like both grew up in California, like X, Y, and Z. So it was like really easy to relate to each other, I think. So I got really lucky in that sense.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't
think
know.
that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. I just like
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else has any other experience in that realm where you're like you met somebody and you identified this thing and that's why you ended up having a longer relationship with them or working with them, or you met somebody and you identified something like, hey, this isn't somebody I can be myself around. If I can't be myself around them, I can't tour with them. Or I know it doesn't really matter for a portrait shoot as much to the extent you can definitely not like somebody or not get along with somebody and still get the job done. But
it definitely matters when you're like spending days or weeks or months of your life with someone.
100%.
And yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think
I
you just know. You know, it's just again like on a basic human level. It's like if y'all get along and you work together well, it's like two creatives that kind of like I want to, you know, I would love to go on tour. I love going on tour and like shooting my favorite bands and like, you know, I love doing that. And at the same time, hopefully they like the photos they get out of it. But I mean, at least like for me, like touring is like stressful as it is. And, you know, it can be, it never feels like work to me. And a big part of that is the people that you choose to like surround yourself with as well, like the environment you choose to be in. So like, I don't know. Yeah, it's you just kind of know.
Yeah, I feel like just as like a different example outside of touring, a lot of my life now, like I spent years on the road, but a lot of my life now is just like portrait shoots and BTS and like having to go to clients' houses and like do work. And I think, you know, when you meet someone for the first time or you meet an artist for the first time, there is just this like really special connection, especially like walking into a studio or walking into someone's home. Like, yeah, not being a dick, just being really respectful of someone's space. And also just like on an energetic level, like acknowledging that like clients are usually really nervous and like a lot of people really don't like getting their photo taken. It's just a reality of what we do. And so much of our job is like creating that really comfortable space for them. So like offering like a thing I always do, especially in a studio, is like let an artist get settled in, offer them to DJ so they can like put on music and like just kind of like create that environment. Or like I'm just gonna be open. Like sometimes I'll ask if it's okay if they like want me to like stage the space, or just like catering to them and like how they feel in that space, I think is really, really important. And then yeah, just like acknowledging and like making it a really fun and comfortable shoot. Definitely like first impression, which is, it's scary to walk in or like walking on set of a music video with a big client and you've got like 2 minutes to do portraits that are for something really important, you know? So like keeping your cool in those really stressful situations and just like getting it done. And yeah, just like being in the zone. It's so hard to talk about it when you're not in it, because when you're in it, you're just like, let's fucking go. But yeah, I hope that makes sense.
You're in like blackout mode. You're just like getting
literally,
it done.
I'm like, what just
happened? Yeah.
Cool. I guess we're done.
Was I okay?
Yeah.
Chat said, one person
what photo did I
said
take?
they always bring an auxiliary cable for their client, and somebody else said they always make them tea. That was Michelle and Maya Long. So those are good. Those are good ways.
Love that. Yeah.
I have a question from chat that's a little
Actually,
more.
I heard
Yeah, I have a question from chat, and this is from a Blue Fox, and I am forgetting your real name, so I apologize. But they wanted to know, as women, have you ever questioned with working with some artists that maybe don't treat women equally, or is work work? I don't know what your guys' vibe is on that. I know it's a heavy question. But.
Yes.
There was a point in time where I was working at this one studio, and they were just like, it was just full of rappers all the time. And oftentimes it'd be like I was the only girl, and this was last year, so I was 18 at the time. So I'm like, I'm this 18-year-old girl, like in the studio full of like a bunch of rappers I know, and like they're, just doing their thing. And I was actually thinking about this a couple minutes ago, because I feel like when I'm taking photos, what I try to make one of my goals is to like create a connection with like whoever's around me, because I work so much better that way. And so I'm getting confused with what I'm saying.
It's okay. We're in no rush.
But
do you?
That is super intimidating at first, at least. And I kind of have to like center myself and be like, as many differences as there might be, like I'm gonna try to like learn these people, and so I have had many experiences where just the situation could have been uncomfortable, but I think one of the most important things for me is to, I don't know, just get out of my head. And I literally would say to myself, like, this is sick. We're all artists, like in the same room, like we're all different, like creating things together. And I think that like centers me and gets me out of whatever I might be thinking of.
Well, that makes sense. Does anybody else have an answer for that?
I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you got.
Everybody's so polite. I love it when you interrupt. Everybody's like, "No, you go. No, you go. No, you go."
No one's ever gonna speak.
Yeah. Could do Ashley or Nicolito. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I've never worked a gig where I've been like disrespected by the client or by somebody that I'm directly working with, which I'm really fortunate and lucky so far. I mean, I am early on in my career, so I'm sure the time will come and I'll deal with it. But I wouldn't intentionally work with somebody that I thought was a bad person or that I thought didn't have a good heart or good intentions. I just don't want to associate myself with that. That's not who I am. I don't want to be associated or connected with it. So that's really important to me. I'll turn down a gig if I have to. Like, I'd rather have fun and enjoy who I'm working with and be proud of my accomplishments and the gigs that I do get than to work with somebody and like have to fold my morals to get through anything. So
I'm there in the sense of like I toured with a lot of men over the years and a lot of all male crews, and I feel so fortunate that like they were all amazing and respectful, and like being the only woman never really felt like a thing. Like no one in my camp ever really made it feel like a thing. The only time anyone made it a thing was like security guards, venue staff, things like that, which is so interesting. Like, and it's just like little things. But yeah, I feel very thankful for that. And I'm definitely blacking out on what the actual question was.
They just basically wanted to know if you guys would choose who you worked with based on how they treated, well, there was specifically women.
Yes.
My internet connection is unstable.
Wait, what?
Sorry, a thing just because I'm sharing my screen. When I get notifications, everybody can see it, and it just popped up and said your internet connection is unstable. I'm like, oh, thank you. But I think we're still good. I think we're still live. Yeah, we're. Oh wait, give me 1 second, friends. You can all still hear me, but let me make sure we're doing that.
Yeah.
Just a second. Hey, Nye, you still have your phone going? Yes. Sorry, guys. Stand by. Make sure. Got it. Thank you.
I agree with Kirby in the chat. I don't know if we're still live, but I've had bands, managers, labels pull out of hiring me for a tour once they realized I was a woman. But honestly, blessings,
Really?
guys. I'm
That
just
sucks.
reading what somebody in the chat said. and I
Oh,
was
they
like,
said
yeah,
that.
that's happened to me once.
I guess with the
I was like,
name, if your name
okay.
is Kirby, then people might not know your gender based off your name.
Yeah.
Chat. let me
Kirby's a
see.
woman. I know her.
Can you guys hear
Kirby's
us?
awesome.
I apologize for
think-
technical difficulties, guys.
It's definitely not something to be hard on yourself about, though, because you don't need to work with people who don't respect
Yeah.
you for who you are and what you create. You know, even though it might feel kind of shitty sometimes, but you know, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had to deal with that recently. I straight up canceled a shoot.
Really?
But I mean, luckily, yeah, I mean,
Wow. Teach us about it.
yeah, I
would
mean,
love to hear
when
about it.
you, well, I mean, it's basically, you know, I think none of us want to work with shitty people. And it's when you find out someone's shitty, or when something, you know, when something doesn't make you feel right, what are you going to do? And
Mhm.
like, you know, luckily, like, again, like Ashley was saying, like the bands I've toured with and like my experience on the road has been nothing but good. But it's not to say in like 10 years of doing this that like, you know, like you just know when something's, again, you know when something's off. And like, yeah, when you know you're being disrespected, or when you see someone acting bad, it's like, it's your moral compass. It's like in your hands, like who you choose to cover and what actions you choose to take, like moving forward. And I don't know, if you feel like something is going to make you not feel good about, like, I always want my photography to be like my voice in some way. And I always try to consider that. And yeah, I think all of us, you know, work best when we're all just fucking nice to each other, right? And so like when you see that kind of behavior, it's just, it shouldn't be put up with on any level from anyone. So
And
yeah.
I think the cool thing, sorry, keep going if you're going.
Oh no, I was gonna say also, most people assume I'm a dude when they email me and have like, but I get the name is kind of weird, but like, yeah.
I
It's
mean,
funny.
I get a lot of
It's happened
DMs
so many
with
times. Like when I
bro.
get an email.
What did you say, Reagan?
I get a lot of DMs where people are calling me bro. And I can't tell if it's like trying to be cool or if I don't know, but
I still get bro.
yeah.
I didn't, yeah.
I don't
Dude,
get
I
bro.
mean, dude's fine, but
What was I gonna say?
Emily.
Well, it sounds like across the board, everybody is very personal with their work, whether it be shooting or who they work with or how they operate or the photos they create. And I think that's just so important with all the work you guys are creating. It's awesome. And it seems like a no-brainer for at least the people here, and I agree with you, to like not work with shitty people and don't be a dick. But unfortunately, I don't think that's how everybody thinks. So I think it's, I'm really happy that you guys are talking about it, and it seemed like such a no-brainer here. You guys were like, yeah, we don't work with shitty people. Like, yes, we choose who we work with, and that's cool. Even for somebody like Nicolito, who is earlier on in her career, you know, that's a harder thing to do when you're starting off because you just want to work with people, and it's hard to make those calls. And you know, you don't have the luxury of being like, I work with a lot of people, I can just say no.
yeah, and there's always, you know, the power dynamic too, especially if you're like an up and coming photographer, and then like some massive artists or whatever wants, you know, like there's definitely like the power trip, or not power trip, but the dynamic there to where like you are willing to put up with more because of like the opportunity. But yeah, I think that the important thing is like none of us intentionally want to work with shitty people, and when we see that behavior, like, yeah.
So what? So
we try our best not to.
So what do you? Let's see, how do I phrase this? I don't know. What do you guys do when you find yourself in a situation that you don't really want to be in? And I know that's kind of broad, but you know, maybe you encounter shitty people or somebody treats you disrespectfully. Like, what's like? You don't have to share personal situations, or if you can draw from experience, but like for people who maybe haven't been in that situation yet or are fortunate enough to go on through their career, like, how do you handle it? Because it's such a tricky thing sometimes.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I feel like an example I have of that is just like really early in my days of shooting, especially in Chicago, when I would shoot like bigger events or like like bigger shows or festivals, and I was like really young. There was just like a lot of older guys in the pit who were like in their 40s, 50s, 60s who just were kind of savage sometimes, and I would always take that really, really personally, and like kind of beat myself up over it, especially like because I was like 21. I'd only been shooting for like a year or two, a little baby. And I would always take it really personally, and that sucked. And I think like it definitely still happens to me even in LA or like at Coachella at a festival. Like there's always like older photographers who are kind of aggressive and just like, you know, it like never really it never really goes away. Like I kind of will always experience, especially men like that. So I think now I'm just like, it's kind of just made me embrace my own little bubble when I'm in those situations and just like stepping away from the crowd, and like it's forced me to kind of think about shooting, especially in photo pits, a lot differently, which I'm kind of proud of in a way. I don't know if that made any sense, but now when I'm in a photo pit, instead of trying to be where everybody else is, I try to just like step back and like get different angles and stuff instead of like being up with all the really old Getty guys who just have no patience for young people.
The amount of times the old Getty guys has come up on these chats is insane. People are like, oh, you know those old Getty guys with their 3 cameras and their.
And nothing against them. They're all they're icons. Like they're legendary. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. Like if I had been doing this for 40 years, like, you know, whatever. But it's made me think a lot differently.
Everyone's had their story though.
Everybody's met again.
They're Getty guys.
I was gonna say, have you guys ever been in the photo pit and gotten hit with a 70-200?
Yeah.
That lens specifically?
Yes.
The big white?
Yeah, specifically. Because people like, they get super
Probably
aggressive.
bigger ones.
Yeah, probably the bigger ones.
Or the
F4 or 2A?
The ones that need their own tripod.
Oh
the ones who go to the front and then still hold the camera over their head, which, hey, can't lie, that was me in like 2011. So, but I learned my lesson, but that still happens all the time. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. Everything's fine.
I like that everybody can relate on such niche little experiences. Like you couldn't get a group of 5 people together and have that kind of like, oh, you ever been hit with a 70-200 before in a pit by a Getty guy? Yeah, that's funny.
By a Getty guy
from the photo pit.
Yo,
that is a very specific but very real thing.
It's a real thing. You have to get like a helmet. Yo, after looking at all your guys' portfolios, it looks like most of you, if not all, and if you don't, shoot on different kinds of formats. And I was wondering, you know, when you started, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you shoot on an 8mm, Pune? Or is that like, or did you shoot on
an 8?
Was Super 8? What is that? Was that like a film or?
Oh, I thought you meant a lens. I was like, what?
No, I did say the wrong thing, so you could have.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just all over the place. But yeah, I shoot primarily, like I started off shooting on film and then finally got a digital camera when I needed, you know, when I had deadlines and stuff, and started shooting shows for like publications. But like most of my portrait work, and you know, a lot of times like when I can shoot film, I will.
Yeah,
so like,
how do you guys decide
Super 8 camera.
How do you guys decide what format to use and when, or like is it from an artistic place or a purely like, hey, I can do film on this, or what's your guys' vibe on like when you use film or digital, or how do you decide what to use for a shoot?
I think it depends on deliverables for sure. Yeah. Like if you're on tour, you can't really develop film on tour. You know, it's like you have to use your DSLR. But like when you have time, like Polaroids are super fun because they're instant, and then you just go scan them at a FedEx or something. Polaroids on tour, yeah. But yeah, with film, it's like you have to like wait a month to get it processed, which sometimes it's fine, but it depends, like on the artist's deadline, and also a lot of times it depends on the artist. Like sometimes like, oh, this like they'll be great to do a series on Polaroid, and I'll do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just depends on the job and the person and what you're shooting for. Like those different factors, but I always love shooting on film.
Pune, your work is amazing. Your film,
you're amazing.
Crazy. You're
crazy.
Insane.
I like where this is
I
going.
can't believe I'm in this room. Ridiculous.
Yeah,
I love Miranda's film a lot too.
Thanks. Yeah, actually, my high school, I was 15, and we had a dark room, so I learned on black and white film.
Oh, wow.
And like hated
What?
school, so I spent like every lunchtime in there and like kind of stayed away. But yeah, Mr. Moser, shout out Mr. Moser. He's not watching this, but
We'll send
he
it to him.
definitely changed my life. Yeah, for sure.
Well, Reagan and
Yeah, I just like Googled how to process film when I was like 18. And it was the same thing. Like I hated school. Like I just kept going to Austin. I lived in San Antonio, just go to shows every weekend. And I just went to my counselor and in high school and I was like, fuck it. Like, how do I get out of here? And like graduated a year early from high school and just like put all of my life into like I went to college, but I was like focused on like photography and music and like trying to find a way to like hack that. But
Were you studying photography in college?
no, I wasn't. My first semester in college, I was studying to be a pharmacist because my dad thought it was a good idea. And no, then I realized like I did not want to do that. I always knew I wanted to do something in the music world. So like I was interning for like, you know, places in Austin, like Transmission and like C3, and I was doing photography, but just for fun at the time. I was just posting my stuff on my Flickr. And
Flickr, R.I.P.
yeah,
Flickr.
remember that?
The best.
And,
That was my first portfolio.
Yeah.
Same. That's how I got my first job. It was. Do y'all remember? Well, do y'all know Gorilla versus Bear?
No, what is that? Is that a band?
It's a music blog.
Okay.
It's
We're all just
a
like,
music blog
tell
out
us
of
more.
Texas, but I mean they're fucking amazing. Like they were one of the first blogs to cover bands like fucking Animal Collective, Leon Bridges, Lana Del Rey, like all these people, and they were doing a lot of Polaroids, and then like just saw my Polaroids on Flickr, and they were just like, hey, we'll PayPal you money if you just cover some stuff for us in Austin, and then it just kind of grew from there. But yeah, point being, like at the time I was just like doing photography and like going to college, but focusing on that. Like I kind of knew what I wanted to do, even though like it just kind of felt like everything else was in the way. And I was like kind of how Miranda was saying, like she didn't like school and just kind of escaped and was like doing her own thing. Yeah.
I graduated early too. From high
Yeah.
I feel like you guys did it right. I don't know.
UK scholarship.
You graduated
Yeah.
early. Good job. I wish I would have like. Why don't people tell us that's a possibility? Am I just out
How
of
do
the
you
loop?
do that?
Yeah.
So
You test
for
out,
me-
right?
For me, we had trimesters, so we changed classes 3 times a year, and I knew that I didn't want to go to a 4-year college because I was paying for it myself, so I enrolled in community college and kind of just took the bare minimums to graduate, honestly, and like didn't take the extra AP classes and all that shit because I just didn't care, which is kind of bad, but it worked out because then I got to graduate in March instead of June, and then worked full time, and then moved to San Diego.
That's like more weeks of life. You get more weeks of life.
I know.
Yeah, it was. The only weird thing is like moving up a grade, so you don't really have friends and anyone in your class. But I wasn't really hanging out
That's
at school
assuming
anyway. I was
you
just,
have
like,
friends.
doing other stuff.
Yeah. What's that? No.
What about?
I guess I was a floater in high school, and I'm a floater now. It all just kind of makes sense.
you
World
got
floater.
you got a few friends here. You can all be
Yeah.
friends. What about? Go.
Yeah, Nikki, Reagan, do you guys shoot film?
Yeah, I do. Recently, I've been doing mostly film, just because I found that like my favorite recent photographs have been film. But I think when I shoot digital, again, it's like a convenience thing, especially because it's like I tried to shoot with a Mamiya at like a festival.
Wow.
Which obviously was like not very ambitious because I'm lugging this like giant thing around with like a digital camera and like whatever.
You learned a lot that day.
Yeah. I got maybe like one good photo out of that. But yeah, I mean, I same thing with Miranda. I would do black and white film in high school also. So that was kind of like a first. Like that's just how I entered photography kind of. But yeah, I just decide based on what's convenient. But I try to go toward film more now just because I feel more confident. I like the outcome better.
Yeah, most of my work is digital. A lot of my portraits are like backstage portraits because I work a lot of festivals. And so I prioritize digital over film, and I do film if I have time just because I want to make sure that I have enough deliverables for the festival and for the socials. And I think like the quality is better. And then if there's a second, I have a Instax wide that I'll pull out and I'll take a photo of that, and then I'll offer them a photo too if they want one. And that kind of just like helps build a relationship there, because then they physically walk away with a picture from me, and then they're more likely to remember me because like they have it with them. But yeah, I have like a Mamiya point and shoot, a Mamiya U point and shoot, which I really like learning, and then I want to get a medium format eventually, but I'm just not shooting right now. So like, my priority definitely is to like get the shots for the deliverables, and that's usually digital, but everything else is just like extra.
Well, I look forward to seeing when you get more than 1 minute with an artist and can start tapping into your, film desires. That'll be awesome.
Me too, because I literally get like a couple seconds.
Well, you did some good stuff with that time. It looks great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
I wouldn't have even known.
Yeah.
So cool.
Adam, do you shoot film?
No. I have a.
Get out.
I'm learning. Yeah, just leave. I have it's like the Ilford film that's black and white, but it's like you can develop it like it's colored. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you can develop it at a color place. I have that, and I have like a little point and shoot, but the flash battery keeps dying, and every time I go in, I'm like, where do I find this little battery? I gotta go buy this.
The CR2 guys.
I don't even know. They look like a normal battery got cut in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
what camera do you have?
Yeah, they do.
I don't know. I need to look. I'm not home where I'd go pick it up off my desk and bring it in. But I'm like pretty new to film. I shoot stuff and then I like develop the film a year later, and it's kind of like a Christmas. Do you guys do that? Is that like a normal thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Just forget
Adam,
it.
I found this film
incredibly
photo of you
impatient,
from
so.
like I found this film photo of Adam from Self Help Festival like 2016 or
You just got it
17
developed,
or
right?
something.
You just did it.
No.
4 years
no.
later.
I wish. But it was on a random point and shoot I had, and I got it developed like maybe a year ago, and I was like, "Oh, Adam, what are you doing on here?"
That's cool. I do like that about film. Well, I mean,
Yeah. Surprise.
yeah, I like that. I don't know. I like that. I like your guys' work a lot. It's very emotional, and I think that if there's one lesson I learned today, it's like if I can come more, I don't know, in touch, in tune. What's the right way with myself? Then I can improve my work that way rather than just being, I don't know, get caught up in what f stop I'm shooting in and stuff. I don't know. It's cool.
I think everybody. I mean, if you can, like, if you have the means to do it, like, I think everybody should learn on film.
Film? Can you
Yeah.
and maybe everybody can tag in. Can you tell us like some things that we don't know that we can learn on film because we don't even know that's a thing yet? Like what are some pros about it? What's good from it?
You're more thoughtful because it's like it's not like digital where you can just fire away. It's like you really think before you shoot, which is nice because sometimes doing digital at festivals you just kind of like fire away if it's like kind of chaotic, you know. So film makes you like, take a step back.
Yeah.
It's like a deep breath.
And also you only have you have a finite amount of shots. It's not just like you're shooting endlessly, you know. It's like, and when you train your brain to kind of actually learn about it helps you learn about composition. It helps you learn about just like your actual camera. Like there's been times where I've had a film camera that didn't have a light meter at all. And so like the fact that like I just knew just based off of like years of shooting on film, like, okay, I think this is about it.
You can't take a picture and look at it.
Yeah, I think it just kind of trains your brain. It trains your brain differently. It makes you look at things like differently, and like, I don't know. I feel like you can kind of tell when someone's learned on film sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
find us the film police, which I thought was funny.
I find that like when I do find a photographer that I'm like, wow, they have a really good eye. Like everything they take is a moment, and something's happened. Like they captured something that has a story. Something's happened before. Something's happening after. This is exactly what I want to see. They usually do shoot film, and I never made the connection until just now. It's like, oh, maybe I should try that to learn some new skills. So that makes sense.
You should do some on the rest of your road trip. You don't have the camera with you, huh?
Well, the rest of my road trip is driving from Albuquerque to LA, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
It's-
desert.
Adam,
It's a
Yeah.
one
That'd be
drive. It's one drive.
Adam, I feel like a really,
Philosophy.
really cool point and shoot for you, like an automatic 35mm point and shoot would be really fun for you, especially when you're like at events and stuff, because you
Alright,
just
I'll
have
do it.
this way of capturing like the perfect little moment.
I
Like,
feel
your
guilty.
candid
I
stuff.
feel like this turned into a counseling session for my lack of film
Look,
shooting.
Adam, you need to throw all your digital cameras away. This is an intervention.
Throw, burn them in the
The
trash.
entire chat
Guys,
room is in on
I
this.
didn't mean to do this. It was an accident. I swear. Okay, well, I will take, and maybe everybody in chat, you guys take, if you don't shoot film, correct me if I'm wrong, you can get a film camera that does what you need it to do for very cheap. Like, we're talking under $50 easily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
cool.
also just
Yeah,
go
we
on
did.
Lomography site. Like I
Mhm.
started my first camera I bought. I
Mhm.
was like 16, and it was the White Stripe. They put out this peppermint Holga, and I got like the
I fuck with
newsletter
that
for
heavy.
that, and I
That
was
sounds
like,
great.
what? Yeah, and I was like, what's this like Lomography? And then I went on their site, and I was like, I mean, just endless. Like you can buy like even a cheap like plastic Holga that's like 30 or 40 bucks. You can get like the most amazing photos out of it, and just learn about film. And they have so many different like fun cameras you can play with. Different like I think they're great. They've like been around a long time, and it's just like a great like kickstart, one of those words, into like film
Both those words
photography.
work.
Just dive in.
Jumpstart, kickstart.
Yeah. But they have so many, just like the Holga,
Lomography.
the Lomo, the Diana. Yeah, there's like so many like really cheap and cool, fun, artsy cameras you can play with. And you don't have to spend like thousands of dollars.
I wrote
They
it
have
in a
really
note
cool
only I can
disposables
read.
too.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. They have really cool disposable cameras, Lomography. Like the color gel ones are really fun to play with too.
Yeah.
I love those.
It's an overwhelming amount of a new world. You know what I mean? Like it's like so. I feel like it's good. I think like it's only deterring because I feel like there's so much to learn. But that should be exciting, and I should probably rethink that.
Exactly.
There we
should
go.
Don't be scared. We
Totally-
just talked about this, man.
Yeah, I mean, if I would go back to the notes, it's you want to be somewhere between like nervous and uncomfortable is when you're learning. It sounds like what I've gathered from you guys. Like that's kind of where we're pushing to that edge to kind of learn and become better. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick. Don't work with assholes. Learn to criticize yourself, but be true to yourself. This is what
Don't
we're
be a
this is-
dick. Don't work with assholes.
Yeah, I like
Love
this.
it.
This is like good quality stuff. Every time I
Yeah.
meet somebody, I was like, does everybody know this person's being a dick? Like, how is everybody? What's going on? Am I out of the loop here? So it's nice to hear people like we just don't work with assholes. So that's great.
I mean, it's honestly like you can be like the best photographer or best musician or whatever, but like if you make someone feel really bad about themselves, they're not gonna want to like take you on tour. Or if
No.
you just are, if you're an asshole, like no one's gonna want to actually like open up to you in a way that I want like my subjects to like open up to me. Does that sound weird? But
No.
yeah,
It sounds weird, but it's also true.
it's very
so
true.
it's okay. No, that's great.
Thank you.
I'm all for things sounding weird and being true. That's like right. That's the right way of saying stuff. Then people listen.
This is when you get a photographer to try to speak instead of just take photos.
I know, right? I mean, were you guys nervous to do this? Thanks for doing this. Was anybody? I don't know.
Yeah.
nervous?
I was
Like,
super
thank you.
nervous.
Yeah.
All right,
I
cool.
think all of us were a little bit.
I get nervous
Yeah,
too.
And Miranda and Pune, like, guys. I'm scared.
I'm so nervous and excited.
Well,
But
it's
fun.
it's like nerve wracking to hit people up and be like, "Hey, will you do this thing?" And then you have to teach them what it is, and then they say yes, and then I'm like, "All right, guys, please enjoy the whole hour." So I appreciate you guys doing this because I know that it's like a leap of faith from your end too. So thank you for coming here, talking with people, spending your time. Helping community. Obviously, for people who don't know, like obviously I'm not paying anybody. They're all just here to teach, learn, represent community, and it's all because everybody here recognizes how important that is. And I don't know if you can relate, but I didn't have this when I was growing up, and I wish I did, because it's nice to have people to look up to. And so yeah, I don't know. Thank you guys from the
Aw.
bottom of my heart. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Adam,
Yeah,
you're the one
super
constantly
fun.
creating community and like being somebody for
We're doing it
everybody to look
together.
up to. So thank you, dude.
Yeah.
We're doing it together. Well, I appreciate it. So I'm gonna say bye here, guys, as we're gonna finish up. But we've got all their links in chat. All these people are people who are aligned with my beliefs. Basically, community is important. If you ever have any questions, you can hit them up. they should respond. They responded to me. They'll probably respond to you. So it's the same inbox. So if they don't, you can get really, really angry. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, hit them up. Everybody's here to help. They all want to help. I look forward to meeting those of you I haven't met, and the ones I have met, I look forward to hugging you when quarantine's over, and we can see people again. But thank you guys so much. I don't hate film, Andy. Somebody in chat said I hate film. Thank you guys so much. Everybody say bye.
Andy.
In chat, say bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
We'll end it here. And
And Adam, we're all excited to see your ventures into film photography.
Yeah.
thank you.